Deep South, where college football is king, and on the plains of Auburn, the battle cry is War Eagle. Once again, it's Kennard Brennan Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football. Go ahead and let's go ahead and join the live stream. This is the game day live stream for Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. Auburn basketball just straight up beat up on 116-70 over California State, Northbridge, or whoever they were. But they were victims of Auburn tonight here on what's going on, Melvin? Melvin, what the hell are you doing up this late at night? Realist in the game, my man. V, man, I really love you guys. Just want to hit you guys with a live stream here. What's going on, George? George, man, he has been in the game since. Now, let me tell you about George. George is actually a Florida fan slash. What's going on, Scotty? George is actually a Florida fan slash Auburn fan, and he's been a supporter from day one. I will go to battle with George. Mark Robinson, homeboy from Tuskegee, Alabama. What up, man? How are you doing tonight? Hey, you better. They got a better team now. See, here's the thing with Auburn basketball. They're actually a team in the making. They're trying to get things going, and turnovers have been kind of a thing for them. But I think they'll be all right, man. War Eagle to the Auburn basketball team. It's hard to score 116 points against anybody. Man, Danny Blackman. No, Danny Blackman cannot still be awake right now. He is a ultimate Georgia fan, but got to give a shout out to, Danny Blackman. He's a supporter as well. Definitely a hunker down Georgia guy for sure. Want to give a shout out to everybody out there, San Francisco, checking in. Man, we got a guy from. Hang on, somebody said they were in Korea. Well, hold on. What's going on, Vern? Yeah, South Korea. What the hell are you doing out there? You got you stationed out there, Lawrence? But anyway, I'll tell you what, man. Tomorrow, Auburn takes on Georgia. Very high consequence game in the Southeastern Conference, and NCAA. There's a lot of folks around the country that's going to be looking at this game tomorrow and like, hey, man, I really need Auburn to come through to give me a shot. One of those is Oregon. The Oregon Ducks took on Auburn at the beginning of the season in a neutral site game in Dallas, Texas. Auburn was down like 21 to, Auburn was down like 21-6 in the middle of the third quarter and managed to find a way to win that particular football game. One of the reasons that Auburn is in the position that they are now is because they beat Oregon then. You know what I'm saying? If Auburn loses to Oregon, all of this stuff that I'm about to talk about later on in this video is obsolete. Lawrence Robinson is in the Air Force. Man, Veterans Day has just passed. I want to thank you for your service. I thought about it, man. I should have joined the military too. A lot of benefits there. They probably would have wiped out all of my student loans. Big shout out to the United States Armed Forces, War Eagle. I'll tell you what, man. Y'all keep coming on in here, and I'm going to show you some love. Takora Wright, shout out from Baghdad. My goodness. Baghdad. What's that, in Iraq? My brother served a term in Iraq. Want to give a shout out to the people out there really sacrificing for the country. Look here, man. Y'all don't know it, but this tomorrow, Auburn versus Georgia, man, it's not even about trolling. It's about, that's what college football is all about. Yes, we like, love, hate the college football playoff, but I mean, this is what it's all about. You got Auburn, who is a 7-2 team because of their schedule and the way they've maneuvered the schedule has a outside chance to sneak their way into the college football playoff. And if nothing else, here's my thing. I don't know if Auburn can ease into the college football playoff, but just like the Constitution for whatever, you have like amendments, right? I think Auburn has an opportunity to create a Auburn clause that says if you got a tough schedule and if you have multiple losses and somehow you can't make it to your conference championship, you got to consider some different things. That's what I'm thinking if Auburn wins out. Let's look at these comments, though. We have more explosive potential offense. We can blow Georgia out. Now, I don't disagree with that. George, we kick y'all's butt, and now it's Auburn's turn now. Danny Blackman is always talking trash. I like Danny Blackman because what y'all don't know, man, he was with me when we were talking recruiting and all that other stuff. So Danny Blackman, the hunker downer, he gets a pass on this thing. Takora Wright from Auburn, Alabama. Now, I'll tell you what, we're going to get into this thing. It's a little late for a lot of you guys, and we're going to talk about the keys to victory for Auburn. Now, if you got some keys that I haven't talked about, then guess what? I will acknowledge them in the comment section. Here's what we got. So, one thing that you all probably didn't take into account is the fact that Auburn in these, top 25 matchups, these Oregon, LSU, Florida games, what they haven't done is they haven't gotten off to their fast starts. If you think about it, all of those drives usually end for 3 and out. I think if Auburn can get in a situation to where they can get off to a fast start against Georgia, hell, get a field goal, but don't go 3 and out on your first drive against Georgia. Then you can have some success. Now, the good news about this whole Georgia thing is they're good, but they're not 2018 good. They're not 2017 good, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you can get up, you can get some solidification on that first drive, or I'll say if you win the toss, I think you need to defer that thing to the second half. Give Georgia the ball first. All right, so let's look at some of these comments, man. We got Lawrence. Let's see, Lawrence is talking again. Takora Wright, my roommate here is a Bama fan. How about that? I think you need to kick her out of your room, right? Just kick her out. Don't kick her out for real. Oh, man, offense needs to get 30 to make a point on offense. I agree. Fromm will throw the ball away before you. He will, because he's smart. Jake Fromm is a seasoned quarterback, and he knows that Derek Brown, Marlon Davidson, Tyrone Truesdale, Derek Hall from the 2019 recruiting class, they're coming after that ass. So he knows he's got to throw the ball away. Throw it away. Throw it at the feet. Kind of like what Bo Nix does. Jake Fromm is a senior version of what Bo Nix is now, which is a shame. I don't even think Jake Fromm should. All right, by show of hands, how many of y'all think Jake Fromm will be drafted in this recruiting class if he leaves early? I don't see it. I just don't see it. He has been a game manager at best. He has not accentuated the talent that he has around him, but hey, it's all good. Now, y'all have distracted me as you all usually do. Here's the thing. Keys to victory for Auburn. We talked about Auburn's got to get off to a fast start. Auburn in the high consequence games like Oregon, LSU, Florida have not been able to do it, right? I think Auburn definitely needs to really get off to a fast start Even if you don't score on that first drive, you can't go 3 and out. You can't give this Georgia defense, who I feel is, we're going to talk about that later on. I'm not going to get too far into it, but you can't give Georgia defense too much momentum at the beginning of the football game. Also, now we're going to talk some money here. We're going to pass the collection plate around, if you will. There is a dollar sign at the bottom of the super chat. They call it super chat. If you want to donate, cool. If not, I just want you to know it's available to you. Vernon Speak Sports is going to go on whether you donate or not. But hey, it's down there if you want to throw like a dollar or two, $2, $5. Hey, man, it is what it is. War Eagle, man. What are y'all doing up? Are y'all like on a night shift or working third shift, or just want some of this Auburn content late at night? Man, I'm glad to see you guys on. Minion Mafia says, yes, he will be drafted around 5th round, similar to Stidham, I guess. I think on the slick, I think Stidham is better than Fromm, man. I think Fromm might need to stick around for another year because he has not been like overly impressive this year. But hey, I'm just a messenger. I'm just here talking trash. You know what I'm saying? So one of the keys to victory, we talked about it. Auburn has to get off to a fast start. That's how they have been successful in the games that they have won. And, if they don't do it, it's going to be very problematic. We're going to have to keep Georgia guessing on the. See, Mark Robinson, that's why I like people from Tuskegee. That's why I like people from where I'm from. Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Good minds think alike. Now, all week I've talked about Georgia's defense. I think these guys are very talented. The only issue is I don't think that they've been like, kind of tested out of their comfort zone, so to speak. So what I'm looking at is you got to test that perimeter, baby. You gotta get a situation where you got Eli Stove, you got, Anthony Schwartz, and you got DJ Williams and Boobie Whitlow. You are not getting nothing in the beginning of the game in the middle of the line of scrimmage. I'm talking about A gap, B gap, C gap. You got to test Georgia on the perimeter because nobody has done it yet. Because if you think about all the teams they played up to this point, nobody has tested these guys. Burner account, man, you are about to be put on the spot. Thank you for the $2 donation, War Eagle. Now, see, here's the thing. We're going to keep talking about this. You got to test the perimeter, though. When it comes to Georgia, you not get, these guys are good. You're not getting nothing on this defensive line in the dead ass middle of the line of scrimmage. Not happening. You got to test them on the boundary. You got to test them on the perimeter. Another thing you got to do is, y'all, we know about vertical and horizontal. You got to test these guys vertically. A lot of teams have done that with their tight ends. And guess who comes to mind when it comes to this? Man, J.J. Wilson. They're going to have to get J.J. Wilson involved in this particular football game and test Georgia on the vertical part of the football field. Burner count, go ahead to bed, dude. Man, why? Man, Danny, I love you, man, but what are you talking about? Matter of fact, Danny, you talking all that trash. Man, hit me with $1.99, you know what I'm saying, super chat for all that trash you talking. How about them dogs? But anyway, all right, so the second thing for for Auburn to win this particular football game, we talked about Auburn has to get off to a fast start. Number 2, Bo Nix cannot Bo Nix. He can't be the Bo Nix that he has been in the big games. In the big games, you could tell that Bo Nix obviously was not comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Bo Nix has to manage the football game to a high level of confidence, of competence, to give Auburn a chance. I think Bo Nix can do it. But if he overthinks it, if he gets to a point where he's excuse me, guys, the weather's changed, my voice, has kind of gotten out of whack. But I'm sorry, guys, but I gotta give y'all this live stream tonight. But either way, Bo Nix has to manage this football game and cannot be a liability to the Auburn Tigers if Auburn is going to win this game. Also, the offensive line, these guys are all seniors, right? All seniors, all senior leadership. They got to get out of these miscued, these unforced errors. If Auburn's going to win, no unforced errors at home, right? The fact that the crowd is going to be on your side. No unforced errors for the Tigers in this particular football game. Now, one of the other things that I want to talk about is I think Georgia has a relative amount of talent at the skill position, but Auburn's defense is very battle tested. Oregon, LSU, Florida, especially LSU. I was very impressed at how Auburn managed the offense for LSU. 500 yards. Still only allowed them like 23 points, though. So, all right, you know what? IG done said something. I'm going to go and put this up here. I got distracted. I'm sorry, guys. Burner account, $2. That's what I'm talking about, $2. That stuff adds up, baby. So, hang on. George comes in. Let's see. Let me make sure I get everybody. But there was a good comment that came across that came from IG that I want to acknowledge. Man, where is it at? Oh, there it is. Now, IG says, I know on paper UGA's defense is statistically, excuse me, my vision is bad, ranked number 1, but why don't people look at the schedule? Holy crap, look at that. Look at the brains on my frat brother. I like that. Before they go overboard with that, I haven't seen a defense like Auburn's all year. Front 4, man, front 7. I'm going to give them, ain't no front 4, it's front 7. Appreciate you, Newt. Now, I talked about this in a video maybe earlier this week. I've done so many videos this week. Maybe it was today. Hell, I don't know. Here's the thing. When you talk about Georgia's defense, yes, they are high caliber in a lot of statistical categories nationwide, right? Pretty single digit in a lot of categories here. But you got to look at the body of work. One, now, I appreciate you bringing this to the forefront, Newt. Georgia has played against a few teams. They played against Notre Dame. They played against Florida, Georgia, blah, blah, blah. When you look at the fact that Georgia has only allowed 2 yards per carry in, pretty much all season, it's because the teams they played against aren't good at running the football against nobody. Period, right? So I believe in this particular football game, Georgia will be tested as far as, oh yeah, Marquise, I'm always ready for the Georgia game. As a matter of fact, if I wasn't doing a podcast for Auburn, I'd be talking major-ish tonight, like I used to do on Facebook, but I'm going to keep it objective tonight. How about them dogs hunker down, man? Screw Georgia. I hope we beat the black part of their helmets off. Georgia. Man, these guys, I think Georgia has a great football team, but this is a huge rival. You talk about the Deep South oldest rivalry, and also you look at the fact that there's so many players on Auburn's football team who's going to really be hyped up for this game because they are from the state of Georgia. My man Christian Tutt is from Georgia. How about that? Derek Brown is from Georgia. A lot of great football players at Auburn chose Auburn over their home state of Georgia. Georgia season has been over. Man, y'all not gonna pick on George here in the super chat. I mean in the chat room. George is an honorary member of this thing. We like George. We like George and like a few others that come over here and talk trash from other teams. War Eagle. Now, here's the third thing. Now, y'all got me off track. If Auburn's going to be successful in this game, Kevin Steele is going to have to outwit James Coley. James Coley is actually a new offensive coordinator for Georgia. And I think that, Danny Blackman, that's the guy I'm going to tell y'all straight up. I have Danny Blackman's back. He talks all kind of trash. He's a Georgia fanatic. But in a street fight, I think I'll defend Danny Blackman. He's a guy that has been on the scene from the beginning. Really like this guy, Danny Blackman. Hunker down. He has been tried and true. So, hell yeah, man. Danny Blackman, George, honorary members of Vernon Speak Sports Auburn really like these guys, man. They make this thing go. Mark Robinson out of Tuskegee, Alabama said Christian Tutt's brother is my 5-year-old daughter preschool teacher. How about that? Hell yeah. I like Christian Tutt, though, out of Georgia. Christian Tutt was actually a highly recruited guy all over the country. Chose Auburn. Hell yeah. So, last thing, guys. And, we'll leave you with this. In order for Auburn to win this particular football game, they have to take advantage of their experience. I mean, a lot of folks don't take into account that I think Auburn is the more experienced team here. Even though they got a true freshman quarterback, you got, Marlon Davis and Derek Brown. These guys have been around for a while. Jeremiah Denson and Daniel Thomas, they've been around a while. So that may be a factor. I think the experience factor will be definitely key game day for Auburn against Georgia. Nobody's talked about that all week, which I didn't expect them to, because that's not what they do. They talk about the surface level stuff, like the stats, all that other stuff. But I think when you talk about this game totally, Auburn definitely has an advantage. They're at home. They have more experience. Georgia definitely has a situation where they're dealing with injuries and things of that nature. I'm standing by my prediction, 28-24 for Auburn. Devin Glenn says, man, you know what? Devin, I appreciate you. See, I like when folks come, you know what I'm saying, and acknowledge their team on Vernon Speak Sports. We ain't gonna talk bad about you. This ain't no Uncle Lou's type stuff. We ain't gonna troll you. Appreciate you joining tonight. Jake Fromm will be drafted in Victoria's Secret's. Damn, George. Come on, man. Is that what we doing tonight? Jake Fromm will at least go in the 5th round or get undrafted free agent. But damn, Victoria's Secret model, man. What's up with that? Man, all right. Every 2 years, we got Georgia and Alabama back-to-back home. We go to the championship. 10, 13, and 17. Man, I love those years. Those are great years. Now, you bring up a good point. What is that? Iramalo. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. But either way, you bring up a good point talking about the 2020 scheduling. Now, Auburn will face Georgia in somewhat the middle of the season. I like that for several reasons. Because you have a situation where you catch Georgia in the middle of the season. Fans have the opportunity to participate fully in the rivalry aspect of the Georgia game. And hey, I appreciate it, man. The rivalry aspect of the Georgia game and the rivalry aspect of Alabama. And the number two thing, I think y'all need to think about this. That's why y'all need to get off this boat of Auburn actually surrendering, wanting, crying about this. Auburn has a situation where next year the division won't be decided until November because you got LSU and Alabama in the last week. And with the way the schedule is set up, Auburn, all those teams will be well in hand late in the season. So I like the new scheduling setup. Now, I'm going to throw the question out here. Because I like you guys so much and the fact that you all are, it's 11:30 here in Georgia. What are just from the comment sections, what are some of y'all's bold predictions about what y'all think will happen? And I'll give y'all mine. I'm gonna let y'all comment on that for a minute. What are some of y'all's bold predictions about how this game will go? I mean, don't everybody, comment at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the super chat from Burner account. And yes, it's hard work, but I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like I talk about Auburn every day, so it's no big deal. I just did a video like 15 minutes ago, so I appreciate it, and I appreciate your support because like Burner account, which y'all don't know, has supported me on a whole lot of levels. Hit me up on what is it? Cash App. You know what I'm saying? Like so, Burner account is definitely a guy that I really appreciate here. Talk about Georgia's loss. That's where the pettiness starts. You know what I'm saying? Billy the Kid Buck, you know what I'm saying? He starts the pettiness. I wasn't even gonna talk about the loss to South Carolina because I was just, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna let Georgia slide with that one. They got a great team, ranked number 4 college football playoff. Man, I was not gonna talk about that. But Billy the Kid just put Georgia on the spot, said, man, we ain't gonna even talk about Georgia's loss to South Carolina, who was unranked. Now we got to talk about it. I wasn't even going to talk about it tonight, but we have to talk about it. What in the Georgia Bulldogs was happening in that South Carolina loss? Man, y'all are tripping. How you losing them? That's like Auburn losing to Ole Miss, man. Come on. Jersey DNBM says, eat. Man, I like that. Let's go and put that up there. You know what I'm saying? All right, so here's the deal. Tomorrow, Auburn takes on Georgia. Deep South's oldest rivalry. One of my favorite games to watch. One of my favorite games to analyze. One of my favorite games to talk trash about because, I want to beat Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Just like Georgia wants to beat Auburn. Bold predictions, though, we're going to talk about this. First of all, Auburn gets the first rushing touchdown against Georgia. I think that's an easy one. Second, are you dumb? Notre Dame went 12-0, 10-2, win the conference. Who is this talking this noise, man? Hold on. Can't find it now. Damn. Oh, here it is. All right. Are you dumb? Notre Dame went 12-0. A 10-2 team that didn't win the conference isn't getting in. First of all, do not insult my intelligence, Nick. You do not know me like that. First of all, let's talk about a couple of things. Now that we're here and now that you have brought my intelligence to the forefront. Number one, CBS says that Auburn is a contender because Auburn has played the toughest schedule in college football, for example. 6 teams that Auburn has played either has been or are in the top 10. The "are you dumb" statement, I'm still kind of pissed about that, but I'm going to let you slide. But Auburn also has the number 5 team and the number 4 team and the number 16 they had to play. Now, we're not saying that Auburn will get in, but it could push the envelope as to why moving forward, a team in Auburn's position should have some say-so. So it's cool. I see where you said you weren't talking to me, Nick. I feel you. So if I was any way disrespectful to you, I do apologize. Thank you for your comment, because it does bring up a good point to the channel and where we are at this point. Thank you, sir. Nix did not mean to disrespect you, but I don't know, man. If somebody says something crazy, I'm gonna bring it up. But Nick, I appreciate you. Great comment, great comment, and I want you to continue to comment on Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. Don't let my obnoxiousness keep you away, because I'm very good at that, which I need to fix. Maybe not, maybe so, maybe no. All right, so IG, my frat brother again. Yes, Auburn has played the toughest schedule in the country, no doubt. Yeah, oh yeah, man. Auburn would have a better resume than Clemson. Sure, I think so. Clemson is a good football team. I would love to see them play in the SEC conference. Regarding of who they are, man, who is this? Yeah, but you shouldn't disrespect anyone regarding who they are. No, sir. This channel, whether you know it or not, is all about mutual respect. No matter where you come from, no matter what fan you are, if you come to my channel, I really love the idea of mutual respect. It goes a long way. Rise Life, I will not call you dumb over football. I love anybody who participates here on Vernon Speak Sports Auburn, War Eagle, or Roll Tide, or Go Dogs, whatever you represent. Georgia's still in the run, even also. Yeah, they are. I mean, if Auburn, if Georgia wins out, for sure. Now, I'll go ahead and say this. You know, if Georgia beats Auburn, that's a huge win, because you talk about a great defense, beating them at home. LSU took them to that's a good win for them. So Georgia's definitely still in the mix. All right, so Melvin Reynolds, Roll Tide, go Auburn. He says Roll Tide, go Auburn, because he is Melvin Reynolds, my homie from the 4-6. Macon County, Tuskegee, Alabama represent. Man, Melvin, thank you for joining Vernon Speak Sports Auburn tonight. I will see you when I come back home. I love Bo Nix. I do too, actually. Hell yeah, I like Bo Nix. He's progressing. You know what I'm saying? As long as he don't get that crazy scrambling crap going on. Any chance of rain? No, sir. There is no chance of rain tomorrow. It rained a little bit today here in Georgia, but nah. Hell nah. Appreciate your burner account, man. You are coming with the super chats. Do what you got to do. $2 goes a long way, man. I really appreciate it. Melvin, let me put Melvin up here. Man, me and Melvin go way back. I definitely appreciate him joining the live stream tonight. As a matter of fact, when I think about Melvin Reynolds, that's why I put his super chat up. I think about my brother Kirsten and my family and all this other stuff. We used to have, tailgate parties at the house. Melvin's like one of the few Alabama fans that would be there, but we would have an incredible time, man. And Melvin is definitely, a guy, life of the party, funny dude, says all kind of crazy stuff, but a good guy at heart, man. Melvin, I appreciate you, man. And I came to Tuskegee for homecoming this past weekend. Melvin showed a lot of love, so big shout out to Melvin Reynolds. Actually, my little brother's homeboy, but hell on the slick, my homeboy too, man. So Melvin representing Tuskegee, Alabama. Much love, man. That's what I'm talking about. At least Knicks plays better at home. See, Noop done chimed in again. See what the committee really valued. See what's going on, Derek? Man, Derek Freeman. Want to show Derek Freeman some love. you know what I'm saying, Derek Freeman's been on the scene too, even since my, covering recruiting. And for y'all that don't know, man, recruiting is one of the hardest aspects of what we do here as sports analysts, especially for Auburn football. As a matter of fact, in a couple of days, the first part of, um, you know, the early signing or whatever, I think it's like November the 18th, but I'm going to have a video on that coming soon as well, man. We talk about Jordan Hare Stadium is going to be rocking. Now, here's the last part. Y'all got me off track because, I want to show y'all some love in the chats. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, whether you know it or not, because this is great stuff, man. We just having fun here. It ain't about like trolling nobody, that kind of thing. It's about having fun and talking about our teams in an objective manner. Last part. What does Auburn have to do to win this particular football game? Well, last thing, Auburn has to sustain drives. Auburn cannot go 3 and out. Auburn cannot go 3rd and 2 and not convert. Auburn has to sustain drives and continue to put pressure on this Georgia defense that has not had that kind of pressure all year. Also, you got to attack these guys vertically. And guess who you can attack them with? You can attack them with Anthony Schwartz. You got to go up. You know what I'm saying? Once you get the running game kind of going, you got to go over the top with Anthony Schwartz. Touchdown, Auburn. Now Georgia is off balance. Now, real quick before we go, I want to give you all an update or just kind of a synopsis of where this channel is going. Rise Life has actually brought this to the forefront. Hold on, where's Rise Life at? Yeah. Now, let's talk about Auburn basketball real briefly before we go. These dudes won like 120 to 70 over California somebody. Either way, these guys are like very good in basketball right now. The only problem is, just like any basketball team that's trying to gel together, guys that haven't played together before, you're going to have some growing pains. I'm thinking like, say, mid-season. Well, not mid-season, but like maybe a quarter of the season. You're really going to see what these Auburn basketball guys are all about. I'm starting to see it coming together, but I'm not going to spill the beans right now. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you, these Auburn basketball guys are going to be very, very good. And just so you know, this is not just a football channel. I like talking about basketball too. The only reason why I like talking about basketball, because whether you know it or not, I was a very good football player, but I was actually more talented and more knowledgeable about basketball. So we're going to talk about some of the things that I'm starting to see developing with the basketball team. Number one, these guys spread the ball around very, very well. You got four of the 5 starters that have averaged double digits per game. We got to get Austin Wiley a little bit more active in the basketball game. But once he gets active and once he gets, comfortable, I think Auburn could be well on their way to another NCAA tournament appearance. Sweet 16 at worst, War Eagle. All right, guys. Man, I love y'all more than y'all know, but man, I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired because we got a long day tomorrow, right? Because we got to do I actually snuck this in because I was like, man, I do not feel like doing the game day stuff tomorrow, because I want to hit a live stream after the game, win or lose. We're gonna talk about, Georgia, Auburn, and implication with as far as how recruiting goes and what Gus Malzahn is gonna do. So we got to get it done around like 6:30 tomorrow. Talk about the post game Auburn versus Georgia. Jessica Robinson says, I'm obsessed with Auburn basketball. Me too, because when I was at Auburn back in the early 2000s, I actually transferred from Texas. I mean, not Texas A&M, from Alabama A&M to Auburn. And when I got there in 1999, Auburn was actually a basketball school. You know what I'm saying? That's when they had Chris Porter and all that other stuff. So I get it. I love Auburn basketball, man. Players stepping up after all the starters left. Oh, yeah. they look good, honestly. From what I saw, the only thing I think with the Auburn basketball team is they really have to start. No, no, now Nick, come on now. George is an Auburn and Florida fan at the same time. He lived in Auburn for a little while. Then I think he was like a Florida fan first. So he's one of them kind of guys that likes Florida and Auburn, but he likes Florida when Florida plays Auburn. So man, don't pick on George now. All right, George and Danny Blackman. I'm standing up for him. You know what I'm saying? They are a suspect though, but I'm standing up for him. No matter what happens tomorrow, War Eagle for life. Yeah, man. I just love the game. I just love college football. Really love what Auburn has going on athletically with the program. I think Alan Green needs to be up for like the, athletic director of the year. You know what I'm saying? If there's such an award. All right, guys, man, I have had a great time tonight. The funny part about it is I wasn't even planning to go live tonight, but I was like, you know what? Let's go on and get it in real quick before the actual game. I'm getting hoarse, man. The weather changing. But I'm still hoarse now. I'm gonna tell y'all, do not talk bad about me if I have a hoarse voice talking about this Georgia game tomorrow. No, man, you good, Nick, man. I'm just talking trash. Go on and give it to George and Danny. They asked for it, right? You know what I'm saying? Danny's a Georgia fan coming on here talking trash, and George is a non. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? George knows what it is when he comes over here, and Danny knows what it is too. So nah, it's no disrespect over here. Man, I love you guys, man. I thank you all for the support, the love, the just the passion that you all have for Auburn football, the same that I have. I talk about this stuff every day. Like I always say, man, go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.